want to talk to you about this week is something that has been brought up by a couple of you guys, whether you realize it or not. And it's this issue of engaging with a culture that you have been detached from for a number of years, i.e. it was a long time ago since you were 14 or you were 15. All right, so how do you insert yourself into their world in a way that you're going to build a strong Jesus-centered relationship? How do you make that initial jump? Because it's usually the initial jump that is the most awkward, right? What if I say something stupid? I want to build a strong relationship. But if I say something stupid, they're just going to think I'm old and I'm weird. What do I do with that? I want to give you 3 pieces of advice that hopefully you can write down, stick it in your back pocket, and refer to at any time. And it's this. Number 1, okay? Write this down. Number 1, remember that you are called. If you are there on a Friday night, it's because God has called you there. And if you're not sure that God has called you there, then that's a different conversation that we need to have, all right? But if you are there and you sacrifice every Friday night, it's because you are called there. And if you're called there, then God's going to equip you for what He's called you to, all right? You need to have a strength and an understanding that God is in your weakness. God Himself is strong, all right? Not every area that we're called to in ministry is going to cater to our strengths all the time. There are always going to be areas of weakness, but that's okay, because it's in our weakness His strength shines through. And it's in our weakness we can accept our weakness, we can be humble in our weakness, and God works in the midst of that. And it's usually our most weakest areas that impact people the most. So remember, you are called to this ministry, okay? Number 2, don't try to imitate. Be yourself. It's so easy, and this has happened, I've seen it happen so many times. It's even been a pressure in my life at times. But it's so easy to look at the other leaders around you, especially the younger ones, or to look at me, or to look at Nicole and think, man, I'm just not them. But if I did what they're doing, then I can have that relationship that they have with the young people. And oftentimes when you try to imitate, it just gets weird and awkward, all right? When you try to be someone that you're not, then it just is a strange time. So don't try to imitate. Be confident in who you are. Be confident in your personality. Because here's the deal. My personality is not going to cater to all of the young people. All right? Harry's personality is not going to cater to all of the young people. Nicole's personality is not going to cater to all of the young people. But that's why we're a team. Not so that we imitate each other, but so that we are able to embrace the personality and the strengths that God has given us to reach all of the young people that come on a Friday night, right? 1 Corinthians 12 says that we are a body and each member is placed significantly for a reason so that the whole body would not lack. All right, we want to believe that God is constructing His team not so that it can imitate each other, but so that it can operate in its unique function. But it takes unique individuals and unique members to make that successful. So number 2, do not imitate, please. It will only get weird and awkward if you try to do that. And number 3, be intentional. All right, this is going to be the part where it's going to require something from you. If the hardest thing for you is engaging in that initial conversation, you don't know what to say, spend time. For 2 weeks, spend time this week praying about things that you would interact with the young people about. Maybe enter into their world a little bit, all right? See the things that they're talking about. See the things that they're interested in, that they're involved in, and then maybe ask some questions, not yes or no questions, but ask some leading questions. Write those questions down this week. Bring those questions with you. Don't pull them out when you're trying to talk to the young people, because then that is weird. But memorize some questions that you think are really going to engage with these young people. All right, be intentional. If they're playing air hockey, just hop in there with them. If you're not able to play air hockey, but you're a euchre player and some of them are playing euchre, just get over there and say, hey, can I play? But be intentional with the questions that you ask, all right? The worst thing that we can do is feel unprepared and then not be prepared, I guess is what I'm saying. A lot of times we can feel overwhelmed and unprepared for this ministry, but we're not doing anything to get ready for it. All right, so be intentional. Remember you're called, don't imitate, and be intentional. Hopefully that helps you guys this week. Love you. We'll see you.